Hello, welcome back to our YouTube channel, and if you're watching us on Facebook, welcome back to our Facebook page. If you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please subscribe right now. Just click the subscribe button and click the bell beside it. Then if you're yet to follow us on Facebook, kindly follow us on Facebook. We'll be giving you more training materials on what you can do, both online and offline. Welcome to this wonderful episode. In today's empowerment training section, we shall be taking you through how to prepare Veseline. In order to prepare Veseline, you need some certain materials like paraffin oil, petroleum jelly, shea butter, vitamin E, lanolin, paraffin wax, perfume, and other things you can add in order to make the skin glow, like glycerin and so on. But you need to understand that the basic concept of petroleum jelly, it's dependent of what you want to produce, what you want to achieve. We have a lot of petroleum jelly out there. You have some very funny look and people are buying it in the rural section, and while you need some that will make the skin glow. So all this depends on how much you're selling, and at the same time, who are your markets. So the basic thing you need for petroleum jelly is just the paraffin oil, the petroleum jelly itself, and a little of paraffin wax. But every other thing depends on what you want to achieve and who your markets are. In today's empowerment training section, we'll be taking you through a sample production. This is just a sample production. I want you to see what it looks like producing petroleum jelly by yourself, the popular Veseline. So this is our paraffin oil, this is the petroleum jelly, this is our shea butter, vitamin E, paraffin wax, our perfume. We'll be making use of PS. So let's go into the production proper. Number one, you need to heat your pan in order to take excess water out of it. Take water out of it. Then you have to pour your paraffin oil into it and make sure it is on a low heat. Then the next thing to add is petroleum jelly. Make sure you're not overheating. You're putting it on a low heat. All this is just to make sure they all melt together. You're not to fry, you're just to heat it so that it all melts and all become one. So after that, we'll be adding our paraffin wax. In this production, the issue I had is I was having excess particles of paraffin wax. Then I just felt like, let me throw everything into it instead of it to waste. But while I was doing it, I knew it was a mistake, but I was ready for the consequence. The paraffin wax you'll be using depends on how strong you want your product to be, and you don't want it to be over strong. Sometimes you'll be getting a product that will be too strong for even the hand to rub together. So you need to check into that to know the quantity of the paraffin wax you'll be using, because paraffin wax makes everything solidify after cooling down. I'm switching off my heat because it looks as if it's getting too much, and I'll be adding the shea butter into it. And I want it to dissolve and stir everything together. So I'm stirring and waiting for it to dissolve at the same time. You'll be adding vitamin E into this. You should have added your lanolin if you have it and you want to make use of it. All this makes the skin glow. It depends on what you want. Are you just selling to the rural people for just cheap price, or are you really ready to brand your product so that everybody knows the product? You know, sometimes some people use Veseline and it tones their body. Then you ask, why would Veseline tone their body? It's because of the ingredients that is involved. So I would have added my lanolin before turning off the heat. I had added vitamin E. I'm stirring right now. So I'll be adding my perfume to it. So after adding my perfume, I'll allow it to cool down. And here is where the issue is. If you're doing production with this, you have to seal it because of some particles, especially from shea butter. So I allow it to cool down. There are two ways of doing this. You might just pour it into the container, but if you're doing this, avoid to put the remnants in the pot because sometimes it might settle down while the top is being solidified, others would not be solidified. So another way of doing it is allow it to cool down a little bit. Let it start turning into a form of semi-solid. Then you stir everything together with a mixer. Then you now pour it in form of semi-solid, in form of a paste to the container. With that, everything will be together. There won't be any settlement. As you can see, this is our production. And if you're looking at the production right now, you see that this is too strong. It's too strong. What do I do to this? All I just need to do is to add more petroleum jelly into it. I just added some few petroleum jelly into this, and you see there's difference, but that means the petroleum jelly is not enough. When I'm ready to use, I'll be adding more of my thing to it. When you're producing yours, try and avoid much paraffin wax unless you want it to be that solid. You'll be able to use it to cream your body, but I don't think that is what you want to produce, depending on your customers, like I said. My name remains Prince Yemi Kasali. I hope this is educative enough. Don't mind the production. You even need this kind of explanation so as to know the simple errors that might come in out of your production. And the major error that could come in is either it's being too liquidified or it's too being solid. You need to measure what you're doing so as to know when you feel you like the production. So when you like the production, you maintain that production. One problem about production is when you produce one today as a fluke, tomorrow you produce another one, next you produce another one, you don't have a stable production, it becomes an issue. People will not trust your product. People will start like, let me open it and see it first. Then before you know it, they take their mind off your production. So you need a consistent production, and the only way to do that is to have a measurement for whatever you're doing. My name remains Prince Yemi Kasali, and I hope this is educative enough. Thank you. God bless.